Don't you know that you're a grown-up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown-up.
Hey there, welcome to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John, and I'm a Gen X Grown Up. Thanks for clicking on the video. One of the coolest things about being a Gen X Grown Up is the ability to recollect the things from your past that you might not have hung on to. Now, you say, if I was so passionate about these things when I was a kid, why didn't I hang on to them? Well, because I was a kid. You know, when you're 7 or 8, by the time you turn 10 or 11, you don't care about the toys that you had when you were 7 or 8. And then the toys you had when you're 10 or 11, by the time you're 13 or 14, those are garbage, you don't keep them. If you're lucky, maybe you didn't destroy them and they're still in the attic at your parents' house, but more often than not, they got traded away for something, or they got sold, or they got put in a yard sale. And that was the case with a lot of the stuff that I had when I was a kid. I just didn't know that the stuff I had, I would want to have again. And nostalgia is a powerful force for Gen Xers. Now, growing up in the 70s and 80s, we were a little less jaded about the things that got us excited. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have memes, we didn't have Twitter. So if something showed up in our local store, it was probably the first time we had heard about it unless we spotted it in the Sears catalog. So what I want to share with you today is something that I got really excited about when I was probably about 7 or 8, and it popped up not in the Sears catalog, not at my local Sears and Roebuck, it popped up in the grocery store. We're in the grocery aisle getting some bread. Here's some Wonder Bread. And what was on there? A sticker that said, free trading cards. And I've never been that excited about sports trading cards. I've never been excited about sports, to be honest. When I saw Wonder Bread in my aisle and they were giving away trading cards, listen, they've given away a lot of stuff. Over the years, they gave away Star Wars cards. They gave away Close Encounters of the Third Kind cards. They gave away Masters of the Universe cards. And all of them were really short runs, usually about 16 to 20 cards. So when I went grocery shopping with my mom and we saw the Wonder Bread, the first thing that I did was flip that joker over and you could see the card inside. You could peek and see what was in there before you got it to make sure you got something new. So you'd end up mangling that loaf and stretching the plastic and going, okay, here's the one you could buy, Mom. This has the card that I need. So the cards I want to share with you today are cards that I got out of Wonder Bread some 40 years ago. Now, sadly, these aren't the original cards that I got. Those are long lost to the wind, but a couple of years ago, I was able to reacquire a full set of Wonder Bread Crazy Cars. Now, you might ask, what's the big deal with Crazy Cars? I've never heard of them. Well, the answer is nothing's a big deal with them. If you try to look Crazy Cars up online, the odds are you'll find next to nothing. They only ever came out in Wonder Bread. It was a 20-card run, the end. There were no more. But I remember getting them, and it's one of those things from growing up, being a Gen X grown up now, that I was able to reacquire from my childhood, and I just want to share them with you. So let's take a quick peek at these Wonder Bread Crazy Cars from 1977. I'm going to go through each of these really quickly, and I just want to share with you kind of the humor and the art that really kind of grabbed my attention when I picked them up. So I will show you the backs of all of these. See that every single one of them on the back, they had a safety facts, which was real world knowledge about driving or your car. They had these funny facts, really bad sort of Bazooka Joe-like humor, and then had car facts, which is a bit of trivia. The answers to all the questions were printed in reverse, so you had to hold it up to a mirror to get the answer, just in case you couldn't quite divine it on your own and read it backwards. Now, I got these in 1977. You can see that they were printed in 1976. That's the case with all of these. Now, they're all based on really bad puns. I love some parody. That's why I enjoy everything from Wacky Package trading cards to Weird Al Yankovic. The majority of my audio library is novelty and parody music. But so the first one is Volvo, obviously a Volvo. That's apparently what in the 70s we thought computers should look like, very much like a mainframe. So that's our, and you notice we have a printed punch card coming out the front. No other kind of storage media was available. Up next we got the Toy Boda, of course. The Toyota, but this was a Toy Boda. I know, bad puns, it's all right. Who doesn't love a stinking Continental? I always assumed this was inspired by Pepe Le Pew from Looney Tunes. Notice that the tail of the Continental is kind of upturned as they're about to give you some stink. Up next is the Saab. So kind of a play on words with the Saab. Pronounced the same as Saab, but this one is unhappy. He's got some Kleenex for the top. He's sniffling. He's got a sad little license plate. Up next is the Chevrolet. Even in the logo, you see they have a little shovel. And this one looks pretty much like a front-end loader. He's got some tracks. Although most Chevrolets of that date did put out about the same amount of smoke as you see coming out of the stack there. Next up is the Porsche. This is Actually, not at all derogatory toward Porsche. You know, if they're sleek as a cat, that's fine. But nice orange kitty cat. So later in life, I drove a Pinto. So I always remember fondly the Pincho by Ford. It's just a big lobster. MUCK trucks. I always thought was really great because I have a lot of family members that drove long-haul trucking. My brother still does. And the MUCK trucks, yeah, it's just a filthy truck, pretty much. The Mustang. That's probably the last thing you want to be thought of if you're a Mustang, is looking like a moose, but also by Ford, as you see there. So, but he's happy. He's chewing on some straw and he's wagging his tail. This might have been my favorite when I was a kid, right? So this is the Monster, obviously a Mazda. This artwork looks a lot like the Cartoons magazine that you would have seen in the 70s, and might have been the same artist for all I know. But this one was particularly mean looking, and I wouldn't mind driving a Monster. I always liked the Monkey Carlo. It made absolutely no sense whatsoever. I guess they have hands coming out of tires, and his hood is a head, and he's been eating some bananas. I don't know really what you're shooting for here, but Monkey Carlo, another wonderfully bad pun for no good reason. Along the same vein as the MUCK trucks, you got the Econo line. It looks like, I always thought when I was a kid that it was melting, but I understand now that it's represented to be maybe like an oil slick or something, again by Ford. They're not doing too well in the crazy cars, but the Econo line van by Ford. Oh, the HOUNDA is so cute. Who wouldn't like a nice Honda that looks like a sad puppy? And again, he's very happy. He's wagging his tail. He's happy to be a car, I guess, with tires instead of back feet. Sure, why not? The Grumplin. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, it's a gremlin, but he's an old man. This one I thought was one of the most least inspired, but he's spewing gloom, as old men do. I might resemble that remark. But yeah, so that's the Grumplin. The Ferrari. You know, I love how, you know, with wacky packages it's like this too. It's like, well, here's a word. We'll just find any word that fits and we'll make the picture do it. So I'm sure fur was the first thing that came up with Ferrari, so they just covered it with carpet fur in this case, I guess. And then our lovely Dodge Dirt. This is not too far from reality. I mean, you could certainly take a Dodge Dart and you could hot rod it and you could race it on the dirt track, I guess. So this is maybe the least crazy car there is. It certainly has no feet for tires, nor is it wagging its tail, so this is kind of just a car. The Coldsmobile. Yeah, so yeah, it's an igloo. It's a car made out of ice blocks, and it's on snowshoes. So I don't know what else I can tell you about the Coldsmobile, other than the license plate is Brrr. I've always loved Halloween, so I was pretty fond always of the Buick. It's nothing special in the car, but other than it's got a skeleton in one side and a ghost coming out the door, and it's got a broomstick sticking out of the trunk, and it's got some forks for the middle of their wheel caps, but also boo, so it's scarier than you'd expect. Headlights are a nice touch, little skull faces for those. And who doesn't like a VW Bug, or in this case the BW Bug, the Boltswagen. I gotta say that the wheels on this make for a less than smooth ride, but the design is pretty cute. They even gave him kind of a anthropomorphized Herbie look with some eyes for headlamps. I'm sure that wasn't accidental, as Herbie the Love Bug was a hugely popular film series then. Yeah, that's the Boltswagen. And the last one, we got our Blunderbird. So the Thunderbird did not fare so well here. It looks like this bird has not done very well. He has no tires whatsoever, only wings and legs, and his beak is flat on the ground, and he has blundered. So he's done. So that's the Blunderbird. Okay, well that's a quick peek at my 1977 Wonder Bread Crazy Cars collection. I hope maybe this sparks some nostalgia from you. Maybe you remember growing up and rushing to the grocery store and looking for some trading cards in your Wonder Bread. Or maybe if you're one of our younger viewers, this gives you a glimpse into kind of what it was like growing up as a Gen X grown-up. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe and enable notifications so you won't miss our next video. And we want to know what you think. So leave your comments below, click like, and share this with your friends wherever you hang out online. See you next time.
Don't you know that you're a grown up?